Hello everyone and welcome to another custom figure showcase. So finally, after a very long time, here it is, my Series 10 Mondasian Cyberman. Obviously very pleased how this came out. I know I say that a lot, but I really am, because this is actually the Mark III, I should say, Series 10 Mondasian Cyberman. The Mark I was just a repaint of the original with a modified undersection, and it just looked terrible. It really looked bad. And then so I redid it again. I gave it a repaint because the original version was a very dark grey and it didn't look right. So I repainted it a much lighter sort of green grey, which is actually kind of what you see here. And again, it looks all right, but it didn't look great. But I was fairly happy with it. And then I dropped it. And the head broke, the gun section broke, and it got really scuffed. So I had to repaint it and completely redo the head, which I hadn't done before. And it came to how you see it now, and it just looked absolutely spot on. And it was absolutely brilliant, absolutely perfect. And I was so much more pleased with it than I was with the original. So just obviously taking you around. Obviously, as I said, you can see that it is a sort of quite light greenish grey. But if I just bring it a bit closer to the camera, if it will hopefully track in, I've been having some camera problems, there we go. What I've done is I have basically, instead of repainting it again completely, I've stuck with the grey, with the greenish grey, but I have overlaid it, weathered it with some darker grey, and then basically brushed it over with some silver Sharpie. And whilst it is quite hard to capture on camera, when you see it in the hand and when you see it on display, the mix of the light green and dark grey and also the silver mean that it does change tones and it changes colours. And again, whilst it's hard to capture on camera, it does look a much darker grey in the hand when it's on display. Obviously, I know people are going to want to see the front, obviously the back of it, whilst I'm here. Originally, the tubes that were on the shoulder slats have been bent round to the back. There's this panel here. There should be some more pipes here, and there should be a bit of piping on the side there. Unfortunately, I didn't have the right spares. I probably will go back and add them at some point, but that is why those aren't there. Obviously, I repainted the hands as well to give them a bit of a darker look. And so we come round to the front. If my camera again will track in, I might have to move back a bit. There we go. So obviously the original gun part is still there. This is basically underneath this. It's all the same normal gun. All this is done is molded around with milliput, and then I've just lined it with card to give it its shape. This piece in here is just milliput. That's the original gun part. This in here is actually one of the original head handles that I have cut to shape and added in little bits there to give it the tube look. Again, there's a little bit of colour there that's missing because it is a sort of bluish colour, and there's a bit of wiring in there as well that's not there. But again, you know, wasn't really overly bothered about having that. The actual chest unit itself is just the same normal unmodified chest unit. All I've done is literally outline around the edges of it with silver Sharpie, and that's pretty much it. That was actually a really easy modification to it, and I like the fact that they didn't change it too much because it really did make it a lot easier when doing this. But of course, something that lots of people are going to want to see is the head. Overall, the head handles are actually just made of a coat hanger, wire coat hanger that I've then bent into shape. The black bits are milliput, which is holding on the handles. There's another bit at the back, obviously, and then the round gun / light, whatever you want to call it, the headlamp, is just a piece of doweling that I've just stuck on the top, and that's pretty much it. All I've done then is just repaint the head a slightly darker colour, and that's basically it. It was a really simple, relatively simple custom to do, and it is definitely one that I think will prove popular amongst customizers because it presents a good challenge, and it presents something that is a little bit different to something else that perhaps you wouldn't normally do. It's certainly not something that I would have done before. I wouldn't have done a Mondasian Cyberman. We we had a figure of them. It was a very good figure, but you know, I never really sort of considered doing any other custom versions of them until this version came out. You know, and it really does stand out, because you look at it and you instantly recognize it as a Mondasian Cyberman, but it looks so familiar and yet so different to the design, the classic design that we all know. And so I think as a customs idea, it is certainly one that is well worth trying. It is certainly one that is well worth making, because it is a lot of fun to have a go, simply because, as I said, it presents a great challenge to any customizer, I think. So it is, yes, definitely one that I would recommend doing. So that is my Series 10 Mondasian Cyberman. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, favorite, subscribe, share. It really helps me out a lot. And be sure to check out the description below for a link to my Patreon. There's an exclusive webcomic and rewards for people who support it, and the funding generated by my Patreon helps me fund future videos. I salute you all, and I will see you with another video very soon.